So, I was leveling a paladin the other day so I could make content, and I happened to pull too many things and died, but that's when I noticed this. Bunch of dead level 60 rogues, boosted of course. Looks like they're in full communal gear. They're just standing here in a pile. Ghosts. There were so many stacked up I couldn't really even target them all. We got Ardotor, Thighs. Oh, and there goes one named Bra. Off he goes. So this got me a little bit curious. Started wondering exactly what these rogues were doing and where they were going. A few moments later, this troll rogue named Bexy added himself to the pile. My next goal here was to follow the next rogue that decided to leave the pile. So I decided to wait. Finally, one started running and I gave chase. Our chase ends here at the Hellfire Ramparts. Ardotor zones in, and a few seconds later, his friend Thighs shows up and joins him. Now, I started wondering, just how many rogues are there in the Hellfire Ramparts? A quick /who of Hellfire Rogue reveals that there's actually a ton of level 60 rogues in both Hellfire Peninsula and Hellfire Ramparts. I'm assuming the ones in the Peninsula are either dead as ghosts or regular players, so I didn't want to just blanket report all of them. I decided to try and invite them. Sure enough, most of the ones in Ramparts were not in groups. So I started thinking, oh, these are just pickpocket bots. And here's a few more of them that I found later on. I decided to get on my own rogue and do a respec for stealth detection and movement speed so that I could try and replicate this and see how much gold they were making. On one of my very first pickpockets in the dungeon, I get resisted and I have to vanish immediately. This is a little bit concerning as the rogues who are farming this are level 60. And not only that, but there's also these mobs that see through stealth. So I'm a little bit confused on how they're doing this pickpocket farm, and maybe that's why they're spending so much time in the graveyard instead of in the dungeon. Either way, I continue the run all the way to the end, but I'm surprised to find that the gold is actually really terrible. By the end of it, I've only made about 4 gold. I did realize here though that you can actually continuously pickpocket loop all these monsters without having to go out and reset, which was interesting because we found out something later about these rogues that you will see coming up. I decided this wasn't enough gold, so they must be doing something else, so I went back outside. So outside we actually learned something very important. The rogues are coming out to reset. Not only that, but this rogue Aberchan appears to be speed hacking. What in the world? Let's see that in slow motion. Takes 2 steps, then he appears behind the portal. Pretty crazy. On top of this, I also learned that there's also alliance bots doing the same thing. I of course decided to kill one because I don't like bots. Die. So what is actually going on here? These rogues can't be simply pickpocketing. Why would they come outside to reset? And how could it be that this level 60 rogue is doing this without any sort of stealth detection talents at all or movement speed increases? It makes no sense. There's only one conclusion you can really draw from all of this. These rogues are level 60 because that is the level they need to be in order to lockpick the chests in Hellfire Ramparts. This rogue looks like he's speed hacking because he is speed hacking. These are bots also using hacks to no-clip and speed hack through the wall so that they can pick the chests in Hellfire Ramparts. The reason they end up as ghosts is because they either fly through the ground and die, or they aggro the mobs through the floor. These rogues are using a combination of botting and hacks to create one ultimate super farming character that just sits in Hellfire Ramparts all day farming chests non-stop. Report the rogues in Hellfire Ramparts today.